10 times the drugstore outperformed high-end. Let's go. I want to start with the lip product that I have been wearing 24/7, and it is the new lip blur from CoverGirl. This is what I have on my lips currently in combination with a lip liner, and I have to say I put this on hours ago and I have eaten and I have not touched up, and this is how it looks. So this type of product is not that pigmented. It's a little bit more sheer until you've kind of layered it up a little bit, which is why I like it. If you're like me and you love a lip liner and you want that to be the statement on the lip and to be a little bit more defined, this is perfect because it is that slightly more sheer formula, but it helps really blend everything together and the lips still look diffused and soft. It gives you a similar look to a matte bullet lipstick if you were to sheer it out a little bit. So you get that very blurred look that's very flattering to the lips. It's not going to emphasize any lines or any dryness on your lips, but you're still getting a little bit of color that again could be built up if you wanted to. It's $11.99, so a little bit pricey for the drugstore, but totally worth it in my opinion. Like, this feels like a high-end product for me. Before we jump into the next one, there is a sponsor on today's video. Thank you to Lumiere for sponsoring today's video. I didn't think I'd be this excited to sit down and talk about deodorant, but I love this brand so much. Okay, if you are new to Lumiere, they were created by OBGYN Shannon Klingman, and they offer a range of whole body deodorant products. And they have a wide range of aluminum-free deodorant products, and I have to say, prior to Lumiere, I was the biggest aluminum-free deodorant hater. Every other brand that I have tried in the past, not only would it not contain my scent, it would somehow make me smell worse. Like, by the end of the day, I was like, why do I smell worse than I would if I just didn't even wear deodorant? This is genuinely the only brand that I've tried that stops me from smelling bad. Lumiere is clinically proven to block body odor all day and continues controlling BO for 72 hours. It also doesn't stain my clothes, which is important to me. And you can use these all over. They're designed for pits, privates, beyond. Again, maybe TMI, but I struggle with a lot of boob sweat in the summer. It's kind of my nemesis this time of year. You can use this there. Lumiere comes in 8 different scents. They have a wide variety of different products like roll-on deodorant, spray-on, deodorant wipes, cream deodorant, and acidified body wash. My personal favorite is the spray, and I like the soft powder scent. It's very minimal. They also have so many different bundle options on their website so you can save. If you're new to Lumiere, I recommend the starter pack bundle. It comes with a full-size deodorant, cream deodorant, tube, or spray deodorant, plus 2 free products like the wipes or the mini body wash, free US shippings, and you can get an extra $5 off when you click the link in the description box and use code KGOOCH. That deal is over 40% off. Thank you so much to Lumiere for sponsoring today's video, and let's jump in. And pretty similar to this is my next favorite from NYX. This is that same matte, like blurred texture, but this is a liquid product. This is a balm. And I did not think I was gonna like this at first because when you apply it initially, it looks like it's going to be very patchy. Like, it does not look good. First impression of this, it seems like something you're not gonna like, and yet it effortlessly blends into the lips and you get that very diffused blurred look. I'm really loving this type of product. It's definitely very inspired by K-Beauty. The texture of this on your lip is so soft. It feels like velvety and smooth, and I like that I can have something on my lips that feels hydrating but is not glossy, because I tend to prefer a matte look for the lips. Okay, next is a blush that I am so excited to talk about because you know I love a nude blush, or even like a bronzer type of product that you can use all over the face, but it's hard to find the right shade. But this very affordable one from LA Girl is perfect. Okay, so this shade is called Just Playful, and it's a little bit deceiving when you see the color here on the screen versus the color that LA Girl promotes. Like, when I saw this on the Ulta website, when I ordered it, I thought I was getting a completely different color. I was expecting this to be much lighter than it is, and yet I was so pleasantly surprised. This is the perfect, like, flushed from the sun bronzer look. You could also do it as a sunburnt blush if you apply it with a little bit more of a heavy hand, or you can get that very nude blush look. Like, it is the perfect non-pinky shade. I feel like so many blushes these days are very pink. That's been a popular blush tone for a while now, but finding this shade is a little bit harder to do. And I mentioned in my last video how a lot of matte powder blushes, specifically the ones from Tower 28, that's what I call it in my video, can be a little bit patchy and harder to blend out when they are that matte powder formula. That is not the case with this one from LA Girl. This is more of a buildable formula. It's not super highly pigmented, so I do want to call that out depending on your preferences and needs. But for me, I like that because I can build it at my own pace without it ever getting patchy or looking heavy. Also, here's a swatch of it next to that Tower 28 blush, specifically the shade Long Beach Iced Tea, which I would say is probably the most popular one I've seen from the line. It's not an exact dupe. The undertones are slightly different, but on the cheeks, you will not notice a difference. But what you will notice is a difference in the formula. You can even see in the swatches here how much smoother the LA Girl one is over the Tower 28 powder blush. Only call out I will make is that it is very fragile. Mine is already a little bit cracked and it came like that. And this was actually my second order because the first one came completely shattered. So I probably would avoid traveling with this and I would be gentle with it because it can break easily, but the color is perfect. Okay, sticking with blush, E.l.f. did it. Okay, I have been waiting for the drugstore to launch a good liquidy blush like this. This is obviously inspired by Tint. Essence launched a similar product, I want to say probably almost 2 years ago at this point. Their liquid blush like this is not good. It will not blend out on the cheeks. It's fine on the lips, but not good on the cheeks. The Ulta Beauty collection, their in-house brand, has a really good lip stain that's similar to this, but it's not made for the cheeks and it doesn't wear well on the cheeks. So I will say my expectations were pretty low for this one from E.l.f., but it delivered. This is the only liquid blush like this at the drugstore that I have found that blends out well on the face. Most of them either A, will not blend at all, or B, will not blend over a foundation. With this one, I do not have problems either way. This I'm so impressed with. I love this product. I like it on the lips as well if you want to use it as a lip stain, but it blends out as the most effortless, watery cheek stain if you want to use it as your blush. I like using this as sunburnt blush and kind of making like the V on my face, or no, that wasn't a V, the W on my face. It comes in 5 shades total. Most of them look pretty similar. They're mostly like this reddish berry shade with the exception of one slightly deeper shade and an orange. But for the most part, with this tone of a lip stain, I recommend just getting one unless you're gonna get like the orange because the red ones are mostly gonna stain down to a similar color. And this is only $5, which was surprising to me because E.l.f. prices have been creeping up a little bit. Even their most recent skin tint is $18. So for this to be $5 was honestly confusing to me. I can't say I understand E.l.f.'s pricing strategy. Like some are way more than I would expect and some are way less, but $5 I was pretty excited about. By the way, the shade I have in this is Left On Red. I will have my shades of everything in the description box down below, along with prices in USD and affiliate links. Okay, an Urban Decay dupe. Pretty similar here from J.Cat. This is the Fairy Dust Duochrome and it retails for $7.99. I picked up the shade Pixie Shift and it's this really beautiful sparkly purple. Now you've heard me review the E.l.f. Fine as Fleck eyeshadows, which was E.l.f.'s answer to the Urban Decay Moon Dust shadows. And I mentioned I don't find these to be Moon Dust dupes, but I find them to be really beautiful, sparkly eyeshadows. I think J.Cat was better able to execute on the scattered effect that the Moon Dust shadows provide than E.l.f. The E.l.f. ones can look more metallic, which is also a beautiful, sparkly look. But the reason we love Moon Dust is because it has that beautiful scattered effect, and that's really easy to achieve with this one from J.Cat. It's hyper sparkly, it has that cool duochrome flip to it. It is such a good shadow. And for reference, I wanted to share some swatch comparisons between the E.l.f., the J.Cat, and the Moon Dust shadows. Now, obviously, these are all different shades, so I can't compare that, but just looking at the sparkles, you can see that J.Cat better emulates the Moon Dust sparkles in terms of size and scattered effect. I still love the Finest Fleck shadows, but in terms of a Moon Dust dupe, I think J.Cat comes much closer. And for $7.99, I just think that is such a steal. This outperforms so many high-end eyeshadows in my collection, so if you like this type of shadow with a very like translucent base, but just that scattered glitter topper look, check out the ones from J.Cat. Okay, E.l.f. jumped on the lip balm trend and they clearly were inspired by the Summer Fridays lip balms, but I will say at this point, every single brand has a squeeze tube lip balm, but I like to think they were trying to emulate Summer Fridays because packaging wise, these are very, very similar. The shape and the applicator is almost identical. I will say I don't like the scent of these. It's kind of this like artificial fruity scent. However, I love the look of these. They have a nice amount of pigment to them. They're very hydrating, but they're not globby. Like they have that thick, cushiony, moisturizing texture to them without being sticky and globby and heavy. This does retail for $9, which again is why I just feel like e.l.f.'s pricing strategy is strange, because I've heard people say the higher prices are the products that are dupes, but that theory doesn't make sense either because this product is a dupe and it's $5. That being said, I would love to see this more like $7, but I don't mind spending $9 on it because it's a fantastic formula. Another e.l.f. product, the last one from e.l.f. here, but this one actually is only $3. They just launched new eyeliners. They call this the Smokey Kohl eyeliner, and let me tell you, this shade, this is what I really want to call it here, is this shade Brownie Points. It is the most beautiful warm brown shade, and in the waterline, it makes every eye color pop. I love a warm brown shade because brown eyes pop with that, green eyes pop with that, blue eyes pop with that. Try this $3 eyeliner in your waterline if you want that really sultry look. It's also a lot softer than a black eyeliner, of course, but even softer than a lot of dark brown eyeliners that I've tried. Because this is a little bit more of a medium brown and it has that really warm base to it, I don't think it looks too harsh on the eyes, but it still makes them pop and it looks really sultry without being heavy. It doesn't last forever in the waterline. I get more longevity, of course, on the skin, but what I like about this is that it doesn't smudge. So it fades away, but it's not gonna give me like raccoon eyes under my eyes, which is way more important to me. Okay, a skincare product for an overall underrated brand, Provence. This brand is at Ulta, and it's priced very similarly to like a Bioma or a Bubble, but they recently redid their packaging and their new stuff feels so luxe. Like they have this new look, new logo, and I have especially been loving their barrier cream. This is called the Bare Lumiere, and first of all, I love the packaging. Like I said, they redid it, but this is in a nice, very luxe aluminum tube that just feels fancy to me. This has such a nice texture to it. It's thick, but it's still easy to rub into the skin, and it leaves this nice occlusive layer on the skin. I reach for this when I feel like my skin barrier is a little bit compromised. I have sensitive skin, so that's a regular occurrence for me, and I do feel like the next day, my skin is so much less irritated, so much more hydrated. I always love having a barrier cream in my collection, and this is a nice, affordable option. Okay, we have to talk about nails, because the set that I have on right now is probably my most complimented set in months, maybe longer. You seem to really love these nails, and they're actually from the very affordable brand Paint Lab. Now, I love press-on nails, and my press-on nail favorites tend to be $20 and up for a set, which is still definitely less than having your nails professionally done, but that can add up if you wear press-on nails often. I do reuse my press-on nails, which I've kind of shared a demo for in previous videos, but the Paint Lab nails retail between $12.99 and $14.99. So still not as inexpensive as a few other press-on nail brands that I also do enjoy, but this is the least expensive that I found for this quality. You know what I mean? I could actually say right up there with Digi, which I've mentioned before. That's another great option. They are the sister company to Glamnetic. But what I often find with the less expensive press-on nails is that you're sacrificing the look, and they tend to look less real. Like, okay, Olive and June, I do love their press-on nails. I really do. They have beautiful designs and they can look really nice, but I find them to be a little bit thicker of nails, so they tend to look more like press-on nails. These look like you went and got your nails done. I also don't find that these chip as much as other press-on nail brands. Even more expensive press-on nail brands, I run into chipping. Pretty minimal with these. And I also love the designs. That's the other thing. Some of my favorite like affordable press-on nail brands just don't have the range in designs, or they have less intricate designs. With these, you can get cat eye nails, textured 3D nails. Like, they have a lot of options. They sell this brand at Walmart and then also, of course, on their website. Also, this is so random, but I did just see them announce that they're coming to select Sally's locations in Florida. Super random, but I thought I'd at least call it out in case it's helpful to anyone, and I'm hoping that means they'll expand to other Sally's locations in the future. Okay, a perfume. Le Monde Gourmand. I love this brand, and they duped Glossier You very well. There are a lot of similar scents to Glossier You, but this is the least expensive one that you will find. This is $25, and I regularly see it on sale for less. I'm like, let me just spray some on right now. I love this scent. This brand you can get in person at Urban Outfitters and a few other retailers as well, otherwise of course on their website. Also love the packaging here. I feel like so many of my favorite more affordable fragrance brands look like it's an affordable fragrance brand. This you genuinely would not know if you saw this on my dresser. Like, it still feels very luxe and high quality, even though it's $25. Beyond that though, I really do like their fragrances. Another one you've heard me talk about before is Confetti Doris. That is a delicious one if you are really into a gourmand like I am. That one is super sweet and just delectable. I will say longevity on this is not extreme, but it is right on par with Glossier U. Like, Glossier U also unfortunately doesn't last forever on me, but the wear time on this is actually comparable. Thank you again to Lumi for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to use the code KGOOCH next time you're shopping, and I will go ahead and see you in my next one. Bye.